Film, one of the oldest genres of photography to ever exist, has been around before digital cameras were a big thing. As someone who hasn't done much film photography, I realized it's finally time to try it out. The reason is that apparently it helps you slow down and be more intentional with your photography. And since I struggle to be more intentional with my own work, I thought this was the time to finally try film photography, especially for someone who has been doing photography for 5 years. So I had a place in mind where I was planning to go to do it. So I decided to pack up my bags, went straight to the airport and flew to one of the most attention to detail places in the world, Japan. Alright, so I just arrived in Tokyo and right now I'm actually going to get a bunch of film. So the type of film I'm trying to get is maybe like a Kodak Gold 200. That's like the classic type of film. So I'm kind of new to film photography, but this is a very exciting challenge and see how it goes. And also that the challenge of this film photography project is I'm only allowed to use 36 shots of film, but I only have to pick like 10 best film shots. So let's see how it goes. So the film kit I'm currently going to be shooting on is I'm going to be shooting on the Minitone SRT 303B. The reason why I'm shooting on this because I'm just buying it from a friend and I thought I'd just use this film camera since it's the basic film camera that my friend had, and I thought I'll just use it. And recently I've been actually doing a bunch of research, how to use it, how to load it up, but it'd be a fair challenge. Unfortunately, they only had 24 Kodak Gold 200, not 36 Kodak Gold. So I was only allowed to use only 24 shots for this project, unfortunately. Since it was my first time shooting with film, I decided to get some warm-up shots with the camera to get the feel of it, and so that once I got some shots with it, I could start being more intentional with it as I go along the way. Alright, I just shot a few shots on film, and honestly it's actually kind of hard to like get the feel because it's more like figuring out which photo I want to take, and I'm going to be very intentional with each photo I take, because like every photo has to have some sort of meaning. But I just did some quick warm-up shots just then so I can get the feel of like what's it like shoot on film. But I never shot film and I just want to learn how to like load it up, set it up. But then once I get the feel, then I'm gonna start like being very specific what type of film I'm gonna use, because I want to be like make sure I get the shot. And film's not easy, man. It's actually kind of hard to like play around with since it's like you gotta load it up. You can't just like, when you use digital, right, you can like spray and pray. But then when you see a shot, you have to really like make sure you get the shot. Like you have to be very like particular how you take it. But then, however, I saw something interesting that caught my eye. Alright, I found some interesting old couple. They're just chilling right here. Found cherry blossoms. I thought I was take some film photo of them because I think it's just interesting how they're just chilling and enjoying life. So I'm just gonna take a shot. So I used 5 shots already, so this might be like a 6th shot. I just took a shot of these old couple, and the reason I took a photo because I was having a chill vibe, and those old Japanese people, they've been knowing each other for 20 years and they met each other through business. So, and I just want to kind of capture like the storytelling of them, you know, eating lunch, having a good time, because I just thought it was interesting to photograph. Then later on, I decided to move around the area of the city to check out some cherry blossom spots, as I noticed that cherry blossoms in Tokyo were currently in full season. Alright, so I made it to the cherry blossom down in Tokyo, and look at this, it's going bloody crazy. Like even just seeing the amount of like bloom it has, and seeing like, you know, the detail, like it's pretty impressive. I decided to take a film shot of one of these cherry blossoms because the golden afternoon light was shining around the leaves, especially under these conditions. Once I was done with that, I decided to head to Tokyo's nightlife to see which film shots to get. I went to this region called Golden Gai, which is probably for its bars and its alleyways along the area, and I decided to head to one of the bars. And as I went inside the bars, I thought it was interesting to take a photo of one of the bar owners, since I found the place pretty damn interesting due to he had magazines along the wall as well as the experiences around the place. And then the next day, I decided to head to Tokyo Tower due to the cherry blossoms were still in season in Tokyo. Alright, so right now I'm at the Tokyo Tower and I just trying to find a way how to frame this really specific spot of the tower during the cherry blossoms. Unfortunately right now the clouds, it's not the best conditions, which is really kind of shit, which is kind of annoying because normally this would be a good shot during like a sunny daytime, but unfortunately I have to figure out how I'm gonna get the shot, how I'm gonna frame it with this specific film shot. And I'm using this app called Lightroom. So this is like an app where it actually reads the exposure when you take a picture on your phone, and it reads like the exposure. Because since on my film camera, I think it has a light media, but it's not, I don't know how to really use it. So I'm just relying on this tool to see how I'm gonna take the photo. So how I'm gonna do it is like, for example, I might go take a reading, take the photo, and then we'll pop all the like the scenes I need to do to actually get the right exposure to get the shot. I wasn't too sure if I liked the image, but at the same time, I decided to go and take the photo either way. Afterwards, I decided to head to a baseball game in Tokyo, since baseball is one of the most popular sports in Japan. So we're currently gonna watch a baseball game. Like, we booked tickets a few days ago, but the problem right now, it's raining. And I'm gonna see if I can get a dope ass film shot of the guy hitting the baseball, or like get some, I don't know. I'm thinking I don't know how I'm gonna compose it, but it'll be interesting. But watching the baseball in the rain is going to be such a different vibe because, I don't know, this is my first time watching a baseball game in general, so I don't know how the shot's going to turn out. But especially film, I'm going to manual focus this shit. I don't know how I'm going to get the shot, but it'll be interesting. Alright, so I'm at the baseball game. I've got some shots to film, so I don't know how I'm going to take this photo, but I might even go closer, or I might just go over, I'll just take it from here, but I don't know how this angle will look, so yeah. Just took a film shot, I don't know if I got it, but I've got this guy running all the way here. I've got him like running and just throwing the ball, but I don't know if the shot was good, but we'll see how it turned out. I tried to go a bit closer to the main pitch, but at the same time we couldn't come in closer since you needed certain tickets to enter. So I stayed around for a bit and then headed off. So right now I'm at the train station. I'm going to go all the way to the end of the station because when the train comes, there's this really specific shot that I really want to get. It's the shot where the train driver sticks his head out at the end of the train, and I want to get a film shot of that. So, because I remember beforehand I was trying to get the shot and then he didn't want me to take a photo, but I'm just going to line up the film, make sure my exposure, my manual focus is right, and make sure I get this really particular shot. It's been a hard journey. It took for a while to get the shot as I pulled up the camera, and as soon as I pulled up the camera, the train driver would quickly duck down straight away, so I had to be a bit sneaky about it to get the shot. God damn it. Right, I just got the shot and as I took it, I took the photo and it walked off, so I don't know if the photo's going to be cool. I knew it was a good shot. I fucked up the exposure, I just got to see how it's going to look when it's developed. And then the next day, I decided to check out some other spots to see if there is anything interesting. Alright, so right now, we're at this cool spot right here of the cherry blossom, and currently one of my friends showed me this cool place. I thought I'd just get a sneaky film of it. Let's see how it turns out. But then later on that day, I decided to head to Daikoku Park area, which is a car meetup in Tokyo that is known for its JDM cars and its modified cars. Alright, so I'm currently at the famous car meetup in Tokyo. I'm gonna get my film camera and I want to see what specific photo I'm gonna take, because this is a very like different vibe. But the problem is it's very low light, so it's hard to get a certain shot. Like even on like Instagram or social media, it looks very
bright, but it's very low light. But it's pretty chaotic. Let's let me show you around.
Unfortunately, I didn't take a film photo there because it was low light and I didn't really have any intentions for the photos I was going to get because I didn't knew which type of photo was my intention behind it. The next day, I quickly decided to do a day trip to Mount Fuji since I noticed that the cherry blossoms are currently full blooming there and the weather app was saying it was a clear day to go there.
I just arrived in Mount Fuji. I did like a quick day trip, so it was very kind of spontaneous. But I thought I'd check out the cherry blossoms. So I don't know if I'll get any good lighting. I want to see like what film shot I'm gonna get. So I'm gonna go to that really popular spot where you can get like the heart of Mount Fuji, like the heart, like the autumn leaves. That's where it's normally known for. But I want to see if there's cherry blossoms around that area and see if I can get a good like film shot of it. But I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but we'll have to see.
As I was making my way there, it was looking like the clouds were going to cover Mount Fuji.
Alright, by looking at it, the clouds look fucked. It looks shit. The blossoms are like blooming really well over here, but the clouds are fucked. I don't think I'm gonna get the shot. I don't think it's even worth it at this point. Yeah. Like, you can't even see shit. It's cloudy, man. The blossoms are doing well, but oh well, it is what it is. In terms of like the film, I'm not taking the film photo of that. And I only got like 2 days in Japan because right now, like, I think the weather forecast for tomorrow is showing that it is cloudy and I'm not going back to Mount Fuji, it's cloudy, so it is what it is.
A few moments later, the clouds started clearing up.
Hold on, it might actually clear up a bit. It might be clearing up a little. I might get lucky. I might get lucky. Well, I think the clouds just clear up. I'll film short. Honestly, I don't know how it turned out, but it's not the best, but I just gotta go with what I have to do with it.
I decided to head my way to one of the most classic photography spots in Mount Fuji.
Alright, so I'm heading to the classic pagoda. So this is a very popular spot and I want to finally get there because it's going to be probably packed, but it's looking pretty damn fresh.
Unfortunately, as I was on my way, there were a lot of people. It was a bit of a struggle since there were a lot of crowds and I had limited time since I had to catch the bus back to Tokyo.
So I made it to the top. Unfortunately, to get to the very top, you have to queue up, which is like 20 minutes, and I don't know if we have time to be there since I only did like a day trip because I have to catch the bus back. But in the meantime, I might just get like a film shot of this shot of Mount Fuji, just a bit of film, and kind of just go from there. Alright, so I just did one shot of film. Now I got 2 more shots left. Let's see how I'm gonna use it for. Alright, I just got off the bus from Mount Fuji and I'm glad that I went to Mount Fuji. Like, I think that was like full cherry blossom bloom, and you know, I think some of the shots I got were incredible, especially on that film. But now, in the meantime, we're heading to a sumo wrestling and I've got 2 more shots of film left. And I'm going to use those 2 shots for the sumo wrestling. So let's see what type of shots I get out of it. And it's going to be very impressive, but I'm pretty excited and I'm fucking stoked for it. Alright, so I'm currently at the sumo wrestling and this is the view I have. So it's either I go really close up or I shoot it from this angle. So I'm just going to observe around, see how I can get the shot. I only got 2 shots to get the shot, but see how I go. Check out the exposure meter. So I think it's going to be very low light. The problem is that since they're going to be moving pretty fast, the shutter speed's going to be 1 over 50 over 500, and I'm going to have to, it might be like a very slow motion blur, but we'll see how it's going to turn out. I'm hoping I'll still get enough like light, enough movement of them. So I don't know if it's going to be sharp, so this is going to be probably hard, especially in sports action moving photography. It's going to be really ideal. Alright, so that was the Sumo Wrestling. Honestly, it was a bit more like kind of touristy, but you know what? I was pretty happy showing the shots I got from it. You know, even though like, you know, it was kind of chilly and relaxing, but either way, I used all my film. Now I just gotta see what's the final process of the film, how it goes. So right now I'm currently back in Sydney, and I'm going to the local film lab. So I've got like a bunch of film I need to get it developed. So I'm going there. Hopefully the photos are kind of exposed correctly, because I don't know if it is exposed correctly, but you know what? Just got to see how it turns out, because first I shouldn't film. So I'm going to film lab and let's go from there. Is it all sorted or? Yeah, alright, thank you. Just got to sort it out, you know, again, develop it. So I'm going to wait and see until like a few weeks time, or maybe a week or two, and go from there. Alright, so I just got my photos developed and also printed. I got all the film photos I took on that project. I took about 24 shots, since I only had like 24 film, and the whole point is I have to pick like 10 best ones. And honestly, it was kind of hard to figure out which photos that I wanted to pick, because there were so many. There were some good ones. Some of the warm-up shots were actually good, but I'm just going to go for a bit of the top best photos I took. So the first photo I took was the old people underneath the cherry blossom, these type of people. And the reason why I was really happy with this photo, because I think this photo shows a lot of emotions. It shows them enjoying life in the moment, and it's kind of interesting how like we had a pretty cool interaction with them. He gave us like a bit of food, and it was really nice. Apparently like these old couple, right, they've been knowing each other since they were like, I don't know, back when they were like in their 20s, because they met each other for business. So that was cool, amazing to see. And now the next photo I want to show you is the cherry blossom photo I took. So this was during afternoon light, and the reason why I actually took this one, because the lighting was actually pretty good, and at the same time, since cherry blossoms in Tokyo was blooming, I kind of just want to showcase specific photo, because the lighting was awesome, man. Like even like that day in Tokyo, it was just sunny, had a really good light, and that's the reason why I actually took this photo. The next photo I took was the Golden Gai photo. This photo I was kind of happy with, because I like the expression of the like bar life. Unfortunately, like I kind of misfocused it. I don't know, I was kind of a bit like nervous to take a photo of him, because I should have said to him, oh, can I take a photo of him? But then like I was getting my camera out, and then I took the shot after he looked at me, and that's when I took it. I wasn't really like, it was kind of out of focus, because I feel like I rushed it. If I didn't rush the shot, I would have gotten focus. The train driver sticking his head out, like this one was a good one, but the problem is it was a bit out of focus a little, which I'm still happy with it. I feel like it was a good shot, since like I was trying to line up the focus, but then as soon as I could pull the camera, he could ducks away. I'm like, shit. And the reason why I want to take a photo like this, because I kind of just want to show like the mundane of these train drivers working in Japan. It was just kind of interesting to see them stick their head out and as they're about to leave the train station. But in the end, I'm still pretty happy with it, considering like I think it was a pretty good emotional shot. This baseball game. This photo was actually pretty good. I wasn't expecting it to get in focus, but I actually like this old nostalgic like look of it, like kind of like the old school film. It actually gave off like a very memorable vibe. Like look at this one. This one's pretty sick, man. Let's just seeing them. Like I wasn't expecting to get in focus, but I think it's cool to see like the lighting, like the atmosphere, because I think the baseball game was actually kind of impressive, because like the amount of light it has, the amount of the atmosphere going, and I kind of want to show that as I was like taking photo of the baseball game. And I was initially, the plan was trying to go up close, but since I couldn't get up close, I just decided to take it from this angle. It's because to show the whole overall environment. And then other photos I did talk was the Tokyo Tower. So the Tokyo Tower photo, personally, this was a bit more cropped it in. So this was, because since it was on the 50mm, it wasn't really the best photo, but I'm pretty happy with it, considering like it wasn't the best lighting conditions. And at the same time, I still managed to get the shot of this Tokyo Tower. So cool photo, personally. Wasn't really the best one, but it is what it is. And then other photos I took was Mount Fuji. So
this photo towards the end, or when I went to almost to Pagoda, I took this photo, which is I was pretty happy with it. Even though it's a bit slightly overexposed, but I still think this photo was still cool. The story or the memory of me getting there, because I wasn't too sure. I was planning to go to Kodak in Mount Fuji because I wasn't sure if like the cherry blossom was in full bloom. So like even just getting there last minute before I had to catch the bus just makes this photo pretty epic because of like the journey of getting there. But I'm pretty happy with it. And then the other photo I have is the sumo wrestling. So I got this photo. So I was trying to go for like kind of like him. I got this photo of this person winning, cheering, like kind of like a bit like emotional shot of it using the hand moving around. And this is not a bad photo. I actually was pretty happy with this one. This photo of the traffic controller this was in Shibuya Crossing. This was actually initially like a warm-up shot I took at the beginning. And this photo is pretty cool, man. Like it's actually like the story of showcasing what he was doing. Because it was kind of interesting how he was like controlling the traffic flow, especially the crowds, like getting the buses through. It was kind of interesting why I took this photo is because the showcase like his mundane life of like working in traffic controller in Tokyo. And then final photo was this one, this old lady. So this was a warm-up shot actually. So I took this photo when I was actually kind of warming up. I actually liked the way how she was like looking at the food, the restaurant, and it kind of shows a bit of the story of how she was just looking at meal to order as she was looking at the billboard. And yeah, it was kind of interesting how I took this one because I think this photo shows a lot of what she was doing. Yeah, that's what I gotta say. And what I learned from this film photography project, it taught me how to be more intentional. And I realized like the photos that are a lot more sharp and more focused are the ones when I was like kind of in the present moment, when I was like slowing down and actually trying to like get the shot right. And I feel like the photos that I took were the out of focus were the times when I was like rushing. Like I was like kind of rushing. I was like, I was trying to get to this spot quickly. I wasn't really being the present moment to get the shot. I didn't really have a clear vision, but I feel like the photos that had a bit of like, were more in focus, had a more clear vision. I'm actually glad I did this like film photography project in Tokyo. Like I feel like it has helped me being more intentional with my photography artwork and as a photographer, because I think film teaches you who you are as a person. When you think about like the photos that I took that were in focus, how intentional I am in my own life, right? But then the photos that were out of focus kind of showcase sometimes I get a bit more lazy, I get complacent, and it shows me that I'm not really intentional enough in my own life. I don't know, I know this can be kind of deep, but at the same time, I was actually kind of pretty happy how it turned out. So yeah, and that's really all I really got to say, honestly. I think this film photography project has been pretty damn awesome, and that's what I got to say. I definitely recommend trying film, but at the same time, I'm pretty happy with some of the photos I took. So if you like this type of content, like travel photography content or photography content in general, consider liking and subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya, bye.